You're welcome to Telephone Etiquette Module 2. I hope you enjoyed the email etiquette. Just in case you've not seen it yet, it's something that you must watch. It's very important and it's part of this course. Now we're looking at telephone etiquette. You would agree with me that a telephone is one of the tools that you use in the business world. And sometimes when your clients or the people, the prospects, engages your people, it is always very important to make a good first impression over the phone. It paints your organization in a particular light. And I don't just want to say it be a good light because it matters how you come across on the phone. Are you polite? Are you consistent? Are you helpful? These are all things that we need to answer when it comes to telephone etiquette. So are you ready? Grabs your notepad and your pen. Are you ready? Okay, let's dive right into it. Let's dive right into it. And someone is asking me, how long will this course take? You have a place you want to go to? So let's look at this. This is one of the things that you must learn. Answer the telephone promptly and professionally. Don't allow the phone to ring more than 3 times, especially if you're within the office. But when it comes to the fact that your customer is calling or your clients, it's very important that the moment it rings, you pick. This shows that you value the client's time and ready to assist them. It's very important. Then smile when you're speaking to the clients. Did you see the lady in the picture? Now you may say that, your customer does not see your face. Why is it necessary to smile? Smile is still perceived. That's one of the things that you must learn. Your smile is perceived on the other end through your voice. When you smile, your voice changes. It's warm and it's positive, and the caller can perceive it even without seeing you, honestly. So it's always important to smile. The next is to greet appropriately. It is morning, greet good morning. It is afternoon, good afternoon. Good. It is evening, good evening. And do it professionally and politely. Do not say good morning when it is past 4 p.m. in the evening. It's very important. So always be guided. The next guideline is that you should identify yourself and your organization the moment you take up that mic, that phone. After greeting, identify yourself quickly and the organization to assure the person that they are speaking to the right person. If they are actually trying to reach you, that confirmation gives them assurance that they are speaking to the right organization. But if it's a wrong number, they will immediately know by the fact that you identified yourself and your organization. So it's very important that you set the tone for the conversation to proceed. All right. The next guideline is to use the caller's name if possible. Now, there are 2 things that should guide you here. Maybe this caller has called before and you have the person's name. You can call the person by their name while greeting them. It gives the person the assurance that they're speaking to the right person, or that, okay, the person on the other side knows who is speaking already, and saves them time from having to introduce themselves again. And the second one is, if you do not have the person's name, you can ask the person's name immediately and then use it on the person. Okay, person says, my name is Daisy. So, okay, Ola, good to have you. How may we help you? That's very important for connection building. The 6th guideline here is speak in complete sentences. Don't assume that your caller knows or presumes what is in your mind. You have to complete your sentences. Don't truncate what you want to say because you're actually interrupted. Complete your sentences for what? For avoiding conflicts. Yes, somebody can actually misunderstand you if you don't complete your sentences. So make sure you're speaking complete sentences for clarity and for understanding. The next one is to speak in confident and assertive tone. Yes. You don't want them to feel like the person on the other side of the phone is not confident in themselves or is not even supposed to be in that position. Yes. So make an impression that you are confident and that you're the right person that they should be speaking to. So be assertive. Yes, be assertive. It projects professionalism and authority, okay, for you into the person. So the eighth guideline here is to listen actively and attentively to the caller. I bet you the caller called for an important reason, and you don't want to dominate the conversation. You want to listen. So this is one habit that is very important in effective communication, but we're going to go to that. When it comes to picking your caller's call, understand that the person wants to deliver a message or probably want to make an inquiry. So you must give the person the chance to speak. That is not a time for you to talk about the things that you've been wanting to talk to the person about. That's not professional. All right, so call it out. Okay, so listen to their concerns. Avoid interrupting the caller. Don't assume that you know what the caller wants to say. For example, the person wanted to say, I'd like you to take this. To say, oh, I'm aware, the document, I'll bring it into your table right away. No, listen uninterruptedly. Listen to the caller. Find out exactly what the caller wants. Maybe what you're presuming is not what the person is actually thinking. So that's why interruption is a bad mannerism and should be totally avoided for conflict reasons. 10th point here is to avoid multitasking during the call. Have you ever seen people who do this? Yes, and they're typing an email while receiving a call. One or two things go wrong. It's either you send an email that is not cohesive, clear, or probably professional, or you speak to the person in a way that the person will feel misunderstood, and therefore causing the person to spend more time on the phone because you weren't even paying attention to the person. You're multitasking. Now, that is absolutely wrong. Avoid multitasking when you receive a call so that you can get the full information the person wants to pass across to you. It's very important. The 11th point, use appropriate grammar and vocabulary. For some people, they'll say, please, I didn't go to the English school. I didn't go to communication school. Leave me where I belong. That is absolutely wrong. In a professional setting, you must pursue continuous improvement in yourself. And one of the things that you must do is to make sure that your grammar and vocabulary is lit. You must improve in those areas. And let me tell you, nobody got it all through university or probably the education. Education is supposed to continue. All right. That means self-education. You have to pursue it yourself. You don't have to leave it to the organization or say, because they picked me here, this is how I was employed and this is how I want to be. No, choose to be refined in your communication. So use appropriate vocabulary and grammar in your communication. It sends a message to your caller. Another one to do is to avoid speaking over the caller. When someone is speaking to you and you receive and another phone is ringing, the first thing you want to do is to tell the person, can you please hold on? Let me take this call. It's a very important call. I've been expecting this call. Then you're given the permission to do that. You don't want to be talking to someone and a phone rings and you take it up and say, hello, I'll call you back. And the person thinks, oh, are you talking to me? And the person drops. I don't know if that's happened to you before. And the person drops because the person feels like you said to her that you call them back. Meanwhile, you weren't speaking to them. So you're actually going to avoid talking over the caller. It's wrong. Please do the right thing at all times. The next one is to avoid using your phone while driving in a noisy environment. Now, this speaks to you, the professional. I have heard some accidents that happened in the past simply because the person picks a phone while driving and lost concentration. So you want to avoid it. And more so, your caller doesn't want to feel like you are in a noisy environment and you're trying to talk to them. Before you know it, you start yelling at them. You start shouting at them without even knowing it, because you're trying to feel heard. You want to make them hear you, and you are in a noisy environment. So the best thing you want to do is to send a text. I will return your call as soon as I can. Or just tell them briefly, let me call you back. I'm in the middle of something. That is it. That is it. You don't want to destroy your reputation by speaking in the marketplace. I've seen this happen a lot. Please avoid speaking too quickly or too slowly. Yes, too quickly because you want to rush into a meeting, or too quickly because you want to avoid talking too long with this person, or too slowly. No, you want to make sure that you're well understood. So take the pace that is just comfortable for both you and the other person's understanding. This is very important for both of you. Avoid being too informal or too clear with the caller. This is important. Avoid being too informal. You are in an environment, you are in a professional environment, and so you want to sound professional, and you don't want to bring family matter to the table. Even if you know this person outside office, you want to still maintain decorum. You want to still maintain professionalism. So avoid being too formal with this person. In too formal, I mean to say, okay? So that you're not misinterpreted. Okay, so let's move on to the 17th point. Ask for clarification if you don't understand the caller. Assume nothing. Don't assume anything. For example, when someone calls me and say, I want you to organize a training for my organization, and the person gave me all the details of the customized training, the last thing I usually do is, after writing it down, I want to confirm. Okay, this is, before you drop the call, I want to confirm again that this is what you meant. This, and this. And the person confirms it, and that ends the call. I don't want to assume that, okay, firsthand, I've gotten the whole thing. So you want to confirm the message by rephrasing it or repeating it to the caller so that you're not misunderstood or you do not do what is not what was asked. Okay? It's very important. Ask for clarification. Now, use friendly and cautious tone. I understand that sometimes you are not in good relationship or good terms with a particular person, but work keeps you together. You must work with this person. You must, respond to this person professionally. That is it. So forget about your beefing, forget about the misunderstanding, the conflict. In order not to build another one, you must use a friendly and cautious tone. Yes, for the sake of the work that must be done. So what do? Be cautious, be friendly, and be polished in your mannerism with this person. This creates a positive impression for the new caller, a positive impression to the person who feels that you do not have a good relationship after all. Yes, it sends an impression that maybe I'm forgiven. That is it, because the work must not suffer because of the clash. All right, avoid chewing gum. I've seen ladies do this a lot. Or eating while you are on the phone. It is not a good phone etiquette. It doesn't matter if you're constrained for time. You want to. I'm talking about eating, because some people say, I don't even have time to eat. I eat on the go. No. When it comes to receiving call from your client, you want to be professional. So avoid anything in your mouth, whether it's a gum or food or water. Avoid them and speak clearly. You want the person on the other side to understand you. So avoid anything in your mouth in order not to sound mumbling. All right? Good. The next point is, don't take the caller's frustration or anger personally. Now, this speaks to customer service. There are times when customers call you and they're, pouring out their frustrations on you, as if you are the cause of the tsunami, as if you are the cause of the problem they're facing. So what do you want to do? You calm down, you are cool, you're collected, and you're still in control. You listen. You're listening because you are customer-centric in your mentality. You're focused on seeing the customer happier because they met you. So what do you want to do? Separate the anger from what they are saying and resolve their problem. Sometimes when you don't respond to their anger or to the way they are talking, they see you as the best friend in that organization because you received them without having to deal with them on that level where they were. All right. So this gives you the upper hand and a plus in that relationship. 21, avoid putting the caller on hold for extended periods. Avoid it. You don't want to make them feel unimportant. You don't want to make them feel secondary. You don't want to make them feel like they don't matter. So instead of putting them on extended period, putting them on hold for an extended period, what you want to do is ask them to drop the call and that you will give them a call back, or probably you tell them to call in a few minutes time. This would help than to keep them on extended period for how many hours or minutes. It's not called for, it's not right. Okay, it can be frustrating. So 22, ask permission before putting the caller on hold. That's another thing. I've said it before. Ask permission before putting the caller on hold. You don't want to put the caller on hold while receiving another call. You don't want to do that. To them, you are telling them that they are not important. You don't have to say it. They're not important. They're not a priority. They do not matter. You think about the 1001 things that will come to their head for leaving them and answering another call. Maybe you want to tell them, okay, let me tell this other caller to call in 5 minutes time. That's the polite thing to do than to allow the other call to ring for an extended period, or you leave the other person on hold for an extended period. That won't be good for you. So you need to be a proper manager of your phone booths. All right, let's check back with the caller regularly while on hold. Yes, so should the caller agrees to be on hold while you are on another call, what you want to do is to say, caller, the other caller, you can just say the other caller. All right, I just want to check whether you stay there. All right, thank you. In a moment, I'll be back to you. And you continue with the other call. That's it. You're managing the two calls professionally, and that's excellence. That's excellence. All right, so speak slowly and clearly when leaving a voice message. Should there be a time when you gave someone a call and the person didn't pick, and you want to leave a voicemail message, what you want to do is to speak slowly and clearly so that the person understands you as soon as they listen to you. Very important. Leave your name and phone number at the end of the voice call so that they know who exactly called the line while they were away. You don't want to assume that they know. There are some phones that have been programmed not to leave the caller's identity. So you have to leave your name and your message. Leave your name and phone number at the end of your message. Is very important. So the last one is keep your voicemail message brief and to the point. Keep it very brief to the point. Nobody wants to listen to a long voice note when they know that they will not be replying it. So keep it short with a lot of action points for the caller. Keep it short and brief and to the point, okay? So it helps both you to save time and the person to save time. Don't end the call if you did not initiate it. This happens a lot. A boss calls a driver, gets the car ready. The driver said, yes, sir, and he drops, pow, and he goes. You didn't call him, so why should you drop the call on your boss? And meanwhile, the boss was not even done yet. He was going to say, get the car ready in 10 minutes time. And the driver just quickly goes, he drops the phone and he goes to prepare the car ahead of the time. So it happens. So if you did not initiate the call, please do not end the call because the caller may still have something to say. All right? Very important. So, and let me say this much. Should the boss, for example, or the caller waste maybe up to 30 seconds without dropping the call, see it as a person forgot. As long as you didn't hear anything for the next past 30 seconds, you drop the call then. That's only when you should drop the call. Yeah. Say thank you for calling. Always say thank you to your clients because it's their pleasure that you're calling. It's your pleasure that they are calling. Because without the clients or without the customers, there is no business for your organization. So it's very important for you to make them feel important. So thank them for calling, even if they called to, pour out their frustrations or their anger on you. Still thank them politely for calling. Thank you, sir, for the feedback. Thank you for calling. We do appreciate this feedback. Be rest assured that this will be taken care of. That sends a very impressive message about the organization to the clients. Yes. So always pay attention to this. Don't just go there. So this brings us to the end of the phone etiquette. I hope you learned something. All right. Please make sure to stick around for the next one on social polish and etiquette. See you soon.